Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week of Bookish. I'm your host, Emma Saylor, and I have a great episode for you guys today. It is currently 3:35. I'm a little bit late. Don't be upset. I had a little bit of an issue getting to the bus. The bus just decided not to pick me up. It just was like waiting. That's actually a lie. It just took forever to get the bus to come to the bus stop because I do have to take the bus to school. I know I feel like a college student that transformed back a decade back into elementary school. Anyways, I have a fun episode for you guys today. We are going to talk all Sarah J. Maas. I know I've referenced a little bit of me wanting to do this, and I haven't really prepared it yet, but I have it all laid out here. I have a bunch of different fun themes for us. I have all the reading orders, everything, bunch of theories, my personal opinions. I have read all of the books, so I feel as though I have a lot to say. Before we really get into that, though, the dote is water. I fear I didn't have time to make anything more exciting. I would love a cup of tea right now. It's actually really cold out here in Eastern PA. It is currently 52 degrees out, but it feels like it's like 20 degrees out. Freezing. Current read is still Ready or Not. Guys, I fear I'm in a little bit of a book slump. I just cannot get through books right now, and I don't know why. I could not tell you. I'm just like, I think what I need to do is maybe take a break from Ready or Not, because it's not that I don't like the book. I really like it. It's just not helping my book slump. I'm also reading Conversations on Love right now, which is a good book, but I've just been reading it for a long time, so that is also not helping. I think I might move towards a fantasy, because when I look at my shelf and I look at the fantasies, that kind of sparks my interest. So I might move towards either the third book in what's it called? All This Twisted Glory, like that book series, the third book. All This Twisted Glory or One Dark Window is kind of piquing my interest a little bit. I also maybe might reread a book. That always helps me. Maybe The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've been really wanting to reread that and annotate it. So yeah, that has honestly been the biggest thing for me with reading. Is I love it, but I just don't want to do it right now. Like, I'm just not in the mood to read, which always sucks. It's like when you love something so much, but you don't want to do it. It doesn't really make any sense. But we get back into it. I have a Hatch alarm clock that preps I think it's 25 minutes every night for reading time. And I haven't really been sticking to that 25 minutes, but it's there. So that's where I'm at reading wise. I did also move towards Fable. So I'm no longer on Goodreads. I'm on Fable now. I actually could tell you guys right now, I'll put it in the comment section what my Fable username is, because I don't really know how it works. It's very fancy compared to Goodreads. I feel like it's very high tech, but okay. I'm going to type it in the chat. This is my Emsers1143. Okay, so this right here. Wait, hold on, guys. I'm actually going to put Fable username. And it is this beautiful number that I created back in the day. I already like it a lot better because I have my phone here, but it has like it tells you your reader summary. So my reader summary is a heartstring juggler. You thrive on emotional chaos and forbidden love wrapped in dark humor and quirky plots. I'm worried a rom-com might bore you to tears. And it gives you like all these statistics that are honestly super nice, like reading streaks. It tells you all of that. It's in high tech. And that's just Goodreads could never, to be honest. I've read the most Chloe Walsh books, followed by William Shakespeare. Like, it just is so interesting. And you do like a reading streak. I originally had my goal to read 100 books, 125 books, but due to how bad I am right now at reading. I moved it back to 80, which is low, but I'm at 73 right now. So that way, at least I'll complete it and I'll feel good about myself. But it is Emzers1143, guys. That is my Fable username. So please follow. Anyways, today we are going to talk all about the Massiverse. I recently have come across a lot of theories on the Massiverse and all these things, and I just honestly wanted to talk to you guys about them because I feel like her books are so lore. There's so much lore behind it, and I honestly I love her books. I think they're so incredibly they're so good. I'm going to put on the screen right now exactly what her books look like. So these are all of her books. Oh, very bad quality. Dang. Okay. Well, these are all of her books, not in order, but these are all of them. This might be the recommended order that some people would say. I will highly disagree. Or maybe published order. Oh, no, I think this was published order. Yeah, okay, before I got mad. All right, but those are all the books, and she does have some backlisted books that I have not read, but there are 3 series in something called the Massiverse. Oh my gosh, just punched my microphone. And it is ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City, and I'm going to talk about all of them. If you have not read these books, don't worry. I am not going to spoil anything. I will do my best to not insinuate anything, so that way everything is left to your imagination. However, if you like to go in completely blind to stories, maybe don't listen to this episode. I will say before you turn it off that there are some things in here that you might actually want to know before you read them. But anyways, do that with that what you will. All right. We are going to start off with my recommended order that you read these. So, as series collectively, I recommend you start with ACOTAR, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. You move on to Throne of Glass, you finish that series, and then you read Crescent City. I apologize for my yawning. I really do. The reason I recommend reading ACOTAR first is because it sort of reads like just a regular, easy romance. You don't really have to have much thought. It's just like a cute romance, I guess. Not all the time it's cute, but most of the time. And then Throne of Glass, I recommend reading second just because it's such a framework. You need to read it to understand everything that's going on in Crescent City. So once you get to Crescent City, however, you're going to read the first book and a half, book and a quarter, or 3/4, and you're going to think to yourself, I didn't need to read all those other books to get to this. And then you're going to finish Sky and Breath, and you're going to go into Flame and Shadow, and you're going to understand exactly why you needed to read all these other books to get to this one series. I'm going to share at the end my favorite series, and I will share my favorite books in every single one of the series, and then I'll go from there based on my favorite book out of all of them. But I want to start right at the beginning with ACOTAR. So ACOTAR is the first book I read by her. She wrote it. She didn't write it first, however. She wrote it after Throne of Glass. The book follows a young lady named Feyre who has her dad and 2 sisters in the human lands, and they are starving. They're poor, they need food, and she is the backbone of the family. One day she goes out and she's lucky and she sees this giant animal. I'm pretty sure it's like a bear or something. And she goes to shoot it. And once she shoots it, it's sort of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I guess. If you're into Beauty and the Beast retellings, this is not exactly going to follow what you would traditionally think a Beauty and the Beast retelling would sound like, but just bear with it. she gets kidnapped and she's taken by somebody named Tamlin, who's the king of the Spring Court. And so in Akatar, in this world, there's, I think, 5 courts. There's Night Court, Day Court, Autumn Court, Spring Court, Summer Court. I think those are all of them. And she's taken to the Spring Court, which is right next to the human lands. And it follows her romance with this man named Tamlin. And then it also follows a story of the Night Court with somebody named Rhysand. And then you have Lucian, you have all of these people that come through in this story. And right now there are 5 books and it's ongoing. So it's not over. The books that are in the story right now are called A Court of Thorns and Roses, a Mist. I'm saying this in the order that you should read them. A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Frost and Starlight, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Silver Flames. I actually have not read A Court of Frost and Starlight. The only reason is because you don't need to. It's a novella, and it just follows them during the winter solstice. And I kind of just looked up what it was about. More so because at the time, I didn't really care. I just wanted to read it to read it. I didn't need to know what was happening in this brief time between Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin. The book that is my favorite across all of these is A Court of Silver Flames, which does not follow Feyre nor Rhysand. Feyre and Rhysand's books are the first 3 and the novella. And then you get Nesta's book, which is, she's the oldest sister. You're kind of told not to like her. And then you tell her stories told. And it's such a beautiful depiction, and I loved this book. It follows her romance with a man named Cassian. There's another sister as well named Elaine, and there's so much lore with Elaine, so many theories, all these things. But her book is coming, and then there's other books that are supposed to come out, and there's so much left in this series. I would wager and say that this one is the easiest one to read. It's quick. You can get through a 600-page book really quickly in this series. There's little world building, and not in a bad way. You're not thrust into the world without world building, but it's kind of easy to understand. You just have these 5 courts, and all of them have high lords. There's no high ladies, and there's just this there's competition, and there's war, and it's just an easy romance and an easy fantasy to get into. Gotta take a water break. This book, I finished A Court of Silver Flames very quickly, and it's 900 pages. So my favorite one is definitely the last one that's out right now, which kind of sucks to say. I hate when people say that because it's okay, now I have to read all these books to get to your favorite, but wow, it is so beautiful. There's a quote from that book that just, I have it in my brain, and I'm not going to share because I believe it's a spoiler. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, not meaning to. But that leads me into the next series, which is Throne of Glass. There is a lot of lore in this book series. There's a lot of books in this book series. There is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 books. 8 books in Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass follows, oh my gosh, it follows so much. I don't even know where to begin. So you follow a girl named Selena Sardothian. She's this trained assassin, and I really don't want to spoil anything, but this book series is easy to spoil if I share it with you guys. But you go into it, you meet somebody named Selena Sardothian, you meet somebody named Sam, you meet all these characters. There's so many characters in the series. There is a very specific way to read these books, and there's a lot of debate. And I'm gonna sit here right now and tell you the correct way. This is the only way to read them. This is how I read it, and I cannot imagine reading these books any other way. You're first going to start off with Assassin's Blade. This is the novella novel, or no, prequel novel. It follows a bunch of tiny little novellas following Selena's life prior to Throne of Glass. And I can the other way to read it is, I believe, after Crown of Midnight. And I don't know how people do that, because reading Assassin's Blade before Throne of Glass puts so much in perspective. You understand exactly what Selena is going through in her brain, like all the tiny things that she says in reference to these stories, like all the people, because every single person in Assassin's Blade that you meet becomes important later. And like not knowing them right away, I just feel like would make the story so much worse. So please read Assassin's Blade first. You're then going to read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows. And then you have two humongous books called Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. This part kind of sucks. So if you don't know what a tandem read is, I'm going to explain it to you now. It's where you read two books at the exact same time, like they're one book. So the Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms are happening at the exact same time, but following two different people. So you have the main group of people in Empire of Storms that you've been following the entire book. And then you have Tower of Dawn, which follows a different person in a different place. And the best way to describe it is you're gaining a lot of information in Tower of Dawn, but a lot of action is happening in Empire of Storms. So you'll pick up Empire of Storms and you'll read like 5 chapters, and then you'll put that down and you'll read 2 chapters of Tower of Dawn, and you'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I ended up putting tabs in my book so I knew when to stop and when to start. This took me a little bit. It probably took me about 2 weeks to finish both of those books, because they're not small. They're probably about 800 pages each, maybe 700, 800 pages each. So I'm reading a pretty big book here. And I would say, unpopular hot take, I actually really liked Tower of Dawn. I know a lot of people don't. I really liked it. I loved the story that was in it. It felt like a little bit more relaxed. There was a lot more to go off of, I feel like, and new things to be excited about in that book. And then in Empire of Storms, you're just like, shit's falling apart, everybody's fucking up, shit's going sideways. So it was a little bit more of a breath of fresh air, in my opinion. And then we get to Kingdom of Ash. So this is the last book in Throne of Glass. And in my opinion, the best book. It's my favorite book in the entire series. I loved this. It was so amazing. The way that she put all of these characters into this book and gave them all like an ending that, like, it wasn't all happy, but it was like it made sense. And like I wrote in my notes what Lorcan did. If you read it, you know, like I need to know what Lorcan did. Like there's so many beautiful prose in Kingdom of Ash, and it's like 1,000 pages. She's pretty big, but it flew by. I wanted more. And I never thought I would say that for a 1,000-page book, but I did. I wanted more. The ending, wow. You're joking. Rowan, oh my gosh. What a man. What a man. Rowan is a man. That's a man right there. Wow. Please, if you're going to read any book by Sarah J. Maas, please read Throne of Glass. It's probably my favorite by her. I think it's so well done, so thought out. Every little, like, tiny thing that you hear about throughout the entire series comes back, and it's explained, and it's understood. And, like, I don't know. And she wrote this, I think, when she was 15. So it's kind of insane that she was 15 years old and coming up with all this. When I was 15 years old, I was not coming up with an 8-book long series. I can tell you that. All right, next I have Crescent City. So this is the newest installment. So right now there are 3 books out. It is also ongoing. House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, House of Flame and Shadow, and then the last book is going to be House of Many Waters. How I know that is because there is 4 houses in Crescent City, so I could decipher the math. So we do. So most of the people think that House of Sky and Breath is the best book, in my opinion, I think that House of Earth and Blood is the best. It is so good. It is my favorite one. It is like a mystery sort of romance. It follows the Bryce Quaylen, who is reeling after her best friend dies, and it follows her trying to figure out who killed her. And the plot twists, the theories, all these things that come out, it's amazing. Then House of Sky and Breath, I was rather bored. I didn't really like it, but the ending was insane. I was shocked. As soon as that last chapter opened and I read the first line, I knew exactly what was happening. I knew exactly what was happening. I was like, this is insane. And then I read House of Flame and Shadow. Not my favorite, but it ties all of these series together so perfectly. I don't want to spoil anything, but all I'm going to say is House of Flame and Shadow being released, and then Sarah J. Maas saying that she's not going to release a book until 2025 or 2026, something like that, is foul. Foul. Because wow, the way she ended that. Tying it all together, like if I wanted to spoil things, I really do want to talk about it so bad right now, but I don't want to spoil things for you guys because you need to read these books. You need to read these books. So those are all of Sarah J. Maas's series that she currently has out. She again has a couple in something called a backlist. If you don't know what a backlist is, it's like the books that an author writes that aren't published like mainstream. Like if you're looking at like it's like Twilight. The backlist for her writing Twilight would be The Host, which is like another book that she wrote that nobody really talks about, even though it was made into a movie. I don't know. Anyways, those are all her books. Now, I thought it'd be fun if we took a which Sarah J. Maas character am I? Before I go on with that, though, I just remembered that Sarah J. Maas, is releasing 7 new titles, and of those are ACOTAR books. So she just signed a deal with Bloomsbury for 7 new titles of books. So Homegirl is working hard. She's working hard over here. All right. I'm going to take this quiz. Hold on one second. I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to take it on this computer. I have a second one over here. Oh, start. Okay. First question, which Sarah J. Maas book do you like the most? There's A Court of Mist and Fury, House of Earth and Blood, Heir of Fire, and Empire of Storms. Probably would say House of Earth and Blood. Unpopular opinion. What book genre do you read? Nonfiction, fiction, drama, poetry? Fiction. Who would you like to date? Dang, okay. Author, teacher, lawyer, actor. Probably a lawyer, right? I feel like a lot of people would say lawyer. Which time period would you want to shift to? 1920s, 1990s, 1970s, 1910s. Well, the issue with all of those dates is none of them had happy times completely. You got the 90s and the 70s. Mainly the 70s, I think. Lots of serial killers happening. I'm not trying to die. 20s and the 10s, I mean, war. And then the 20s maybe. So you know what? I would say the 20s because that's a very famous time, very Gatsby time in the world. If you could be in any fantasy world of Sarah J. Maas, which would it be? Throne of Glass, Kingdom of Ash, Tower of Dawn, Crescent City. Not Crescent City. Definitely not Crescent City. Throne of Glass. The first book. Or definitely not Kingdom of Ash. I'd probably say maybe Tower of Dawn. I kind of loved the little like desert vibes that was happening. Like everybody kind of had a power. I would love to be a healer. That'd be cool. Okay, Tower of Dawn. Who is your favorite author? George R.R. Martin, J.K. Rowling, Sarah J. Maas, Khalid Hosseini. Well, I wouldn't classify any of those as my favorite author, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Sarah J. Maas out of the options that I was given. If Sarah could send you one book on your birthday, which would you want? The Assassin's Blade, A Court of Mist and Fury, Queen of Shadows, or Tower of Dawn? Probably, maybe like if it's signed, maybe I would probably be between Queen of Shadows and the Assassin's Blade. I don't know. Queen of Shadows mainly because I love, oh my gosh, what's her name? May? I think her name's May. I keep forget. There's a witch in Throne of Glass that I love. But Sam in the Assassin's, I think I'm going to go Assassin's Blade. I think that's what I need to do. What do you do before you go to bed? Read, meditation, listen to music, use phone. I read. Try to read before I go to bed. What is one thing you never get tired of? These options are kind of crazy. Books, pizza, sex, or PlayStation. What a combo. Definitely say books. Okay. How would your friends define you? Kind, funny, responsible, or brave? Probably funny or kind. Maybe I'm just gonna go kind. View my results. Oh man, okay. I got Selena Sardothian. You are violent, angry, and not the nicest person. Yet you admire and love small things in life like reading, shopping, and chocolates. You do not like to fit into stereotypes and want to break the glass ceiling. You are talented and always looking to go after your goals. Okay, well, I didn't appreciate them saying I'm not the nicest person after I literally just put there that I was described as kind. Literally. LOL. I'm violent and angry and not the nicest person. That's not very kind. I just said I was described as kind. I'm like mad. I have beef with this thing now. Anyways, I know, literally, haters. They're just hating. But that's what I got. I encourage you guys to take that quiz. It was kind of funny. All right. Next, we're going to talk about some theories. So this is getting into the nitty-gritty of the Massiverse. There is so many theories because maybe this is a spoiler. I don't think it is, but all of the series are intertwined. I think I've said that, but they are, and that's revealed in Crescent City. So there's a lot more that came out about why and who and all these reasons why they're intertwined and all these things. So I believe I have written here 20 theories for anything in this universe. The first one I have heard before. It is that the Bone Carver is the Sin Eater from Throne of Glass. If you've never read it, not going to make sense, but essentially there's somebody called the Bone Carver from A Court of Thorns and Roses who was this like she could see the future and the past. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Today has been a long day, guys. You have to bear with my yawns. A Court of Thorns and Roses, this Bone Carver is this like oracle of sorts. And it's believed that she's also the god of truth or the Sin Eater from the Throne of Glass series. The Sin Eater is like carved into bones, quite very similar to the Bone Carver. Like her name's Bone Carver. And in the Throne of Glass series, she's called the Sin Eater, where she carves sins into bones. And I don't know how much I believe that one, but I have heard it. Not as exciting, though. Not a very exciting theory. Next, the Archeron sisters. So the Archeron sisters is who I described in A Court of Thorns and Roses. They were the three sisters that I was saying, Feyre, Nesta, and Elaine. And this series talks about a witch bloodline. So it says the Archeron sisters and ACOTAR are believed to have witch bloodlines through their mother, potentially connecting them to the three witch clans from Throne of Glass. Did you just hear? Glass? I can't talk, guys. I'm sorry. We have to end this. Throne of Glass. This theory suggests that each sister represents a different witch clan. If true, this connection could explain their extraordinary abilities and match the broader connection between ACOTAR and Throne of Glass universes, possibly through ancient magical bloodlines influencing both series events. That I believe, definitely. This next one I 100% believe. It is Coltaine Rompier is the serial. Coltaine Rompier was in she was in Throne of Glass as this like nobody really liked her in Throne of Glass, and then you end up loving her. But they theorize that she's actually the serial who was also sort of an oracle of sorts. Both characters have profound knowledge and cryptic ways of conveying information. Cultane's tragic end in the serial's ethereal existence suggests a transformation or reincarnation. If Cultane's soul became the serial, it would explain the serial's mysterious origins. Fans point out that when Dorian in Kingdom of Ash uses Darius to contact Gavin, he accidentally summons Cultane, who is somehow alive and but cryptically refuses to share anything of her whereabouts or whose company she might be. Also, the serial's last plea to Feyre to leave the world better than she found it further adds to this theory. The reason it adds to the theory is because that is also what Cultane said to Selena in Kingdom of Ash before Selena. All right, time travel in the Massverse. They said, okay, hear us out. A very prominent theory suggests that time travel is possible, and in fact, Throne of Glass takes place millennia in the past. Aelin's vision of Prythian and Lunothian as she falls through worlds suggests she might have traveled forward in time. The harp song about moving through space and eons supports this idea, hinting at time manipulation. Sarah J. Maas's coy response to a direct question about time travel in a recent interview fuels this speculation. If true, time travel could be a pivotal plot device connecting different timelines and realms and allowing characters to influence past and future events across the series. And to be honest, traveling between worlds and wormholes could really support time travel. It's all relevant after all. I never really thought of that, actually. Interesting. All right, number 5. Continuing on from the previous point, fans theorize that Prythian from Crescent City and Aurelia from the Throne of Glass series are the same world but in different timelines. Ooh! This theory suggests that events in Throne of Glass are ancient history in the world of Crescent City. The technological and societal advancements in Midgard could be the result of millennia of progression from Aurelia's magical past. This connection could imply that characters or their descendants could reappear, bridging the gap between the series and providing continuity within the Massiverse. Lydia's lineage certainly supports this theory. Ooh, interesting. Okay. All right, number 6, Astri, Daglan, and Valg are the same beings. The Astri from Crescent City, the Daglan from Throne of Glass, and the Valg from Throne of Glass are the same beings, specifically Valg. Lance, who claimed to be part of the Dalgan and rode with a wild hunt 15,000 years ago, resembles a Valg prince and bleeds black blood. This suggests a shared origin or identity among these ancient and malevolent, I can't talk today, guys, beings. If true, it could imply a consistent threat across Mass's universes, with these powerful entities influencing events and challenging heroes in multiple series. Wow. Where do people even come up with this stuff? I'm not thinking this deep about this stuff. Whoa. 7. Elaine will be the Queen of Hell. A very interesting theory suggests that Elaine Artron from Akatar will become the Queen of Hell. While Nesta took the power of death from the cauldron, Elaine is believed to have received the power of life. Comparisons to Persephone, associated with flowers and dawn, support this idea. Well, that is true because Elaine is like so obsessed with flowers. That's her thing. The series proposes that Elaine represents the maiden in the maiden, mother, and crone archetype. Oh. Wait. Potentially ruling over hell with a Hades-like partner, this transformation would signify a dramatic shift in Elaine's character, granting her immense power. Wow. Okay. 8. Mama Archeron was an oracle. Some fans believe that the Archeron sisters' mother was an oracle-like figure, passing down her seer abilities to Elaine. This connection to mysticism could explain Elaine's prophetic visions and her potential as a powerful seer mystic. The portrayal of seers in Crescent City would suggest that Elaine might be a mystic with significant influence over future events. If true, this heritage would further connect the Archeron sisters' connection to ancient magic and the destiny of the Akatar world. I'm not thinking this deeply about this stuff, guys. This is a little bit crazy. I don't know about you guys. I feel like this is like a lot. All right, next. Fury is a princess of hell. Whoa. We all know and love Fury Axter, but truly know nothing about her. However, an amazing theory suggests that Fury is actually a princess of hell. Fury's formidable combat skills, mysterious background connections to all kinds of powerful entities and unholy knowledge. By the way, Fury is in Crescent City. Her never-ending resources and secretive nature suggest she holds significant power and influence, possibly tied to her royal status in Hell. In House of Sky and Breath, Fury admits that Danica knew something dangerous about her, and our lovely Danica, being a bloodhound and able to smell bloodlines, could very well mean that she had uncovered Fury's demonic nature. Sounds pretty deep. Damn, okay. Oh my gosh, Amren. Okay. Amren is a fallen angel. This is, okay, I'm excited about this one. Now, for one of our favorites, Amren. Amren has been theorized as many mythical beings, from dragon to demon, but a most prominent calls for her to be a fallen angel, possibly connected to Fury Axter. Amren's ancient and mysterious presence, along with her immense power, could very well support this. If Amren is indeed a fallen angel, it would explain her unique abilities, since there are no angels in Prythian in her mysterious past. Additionally, Fury's enigmatic character and potential link to Amren suggests that they share a common origin or mission. This theory adds depth to Amren's character, hinting at celestial conflicts and grander cosmic battle influencing the events in the ACOTAR universe. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I wanted to touch on that previous one, but I just read the next one. I think Amren is definitely something that hasn't been talked about yet, because there's so many innuendos about it. Like, I think that it's just going to be a huge plot twist. Anyways, number 11, Amarantha was Tamlin's mate. If you don't know who Amarantha is, it's like the bad guy and in ACOTAR. A heartbreaking theory suggests that Amarantha was Tamlin's true mate. This would explain her obsession with him and the depth of her betrayal. If Tamlin and Amarantha were mates, it would add so many layers to their tragic relationship and Tamlin's subsequent actions. This connection could also reveal hidden motives and a darker history between them. Wow. Nesta will be High Lady of the Dusk Court. Now brace yourselves, because none of us want to believe this, but we have a duty to report. There is a theory that Nesta will become the High Lady of the Dusk Court with Eris's help after Cassian dies. What? Cassian's death has been foreshadowed by Elaine and a court of... What? And if Cassian's death propels Nesta into this role, it would significantly change the course of events as we expect them in the ACOTAR world. It also theorized by many that Cassian is not Nesta's true mate, and Eris is, which will shine through as he helps her become the High Lady of the Dusk Court. Wow! I refuse to believe that. There's no way. No. Next. Elaine's true mate is Azriel. Similarly, fans speculate that Elaine's mate bond with Lucian is a fake one, similar to Rowan and Lyria's, and that her true mate is Azriel. Elaine's gentle nature contrasts with Azriel's shadows, making them complementary. Ooh. However, if Elaine is the Lightbringer and Azriel's the Shadowbringer, their union would symbolize some sort of cosmic love. That's romantic. Whoa. Rhysand's sister is Rune's mother. There is a theory that Rhys's sister from ACOTAR is actually Rune Den's mother in Crescent City. This would connect the two series even more closely, suggesting a shared family lineage. Wow, okay. Dorian Havillard could take the drop to become immortal. Now, a theory we could get behind. Many speculate that Dorian Havillard from Throne of Glass could take the drop, a ritual in Crescent City that grants Vanir immortality. Dorian's immense magical power and his quest for knowledge might lead him to discuss this process, and might as well match Manon's Blackbeat's immortality. This theory also bridges the gap between Throne of Glass and Crescent City. Okay. Last, this right here is the one I've been waiting for. This, 100%. Okay. Lydia Servos has Rowan's ring. Some fans believe that Lydia Servos in Crescent City possesses Rowan Whitethorn's ruby ring from Throne of Glass. Rowan's ring, a symbol of his bond with Aelin, could have found its way into Lydia's possession through mysterious means, possibly further supporting that Throne of Glass takes place in the past. This theory suggests that the ring was either passed down through generations, lost and rediscovered, or intentionally given to Lydia, linking her to the Throne of Glass series. If Lydia has Rowan's ring, it would not only add depth to her character, but also provide a tangible connection between the two series. I personally agree with this, because in Flame and Shadow, she discusses how she's from this lineage of fire and that she has her ancestors are these fire bringers. And if you've read Throne of Glass, like I personally believe that she is a direct descendant from Aelin and Rowan. 100%. But those were all my theories. I honestly feel like I just like read like a book in itself. But overall, the ACOTAR series, Throne of Glass series, and Crescent City series are a lot to get behind. They're a lot to read, but they are so worth it. I think they're so great, especially if you're just getting into reading. Definitely start with ACOTAR. Crescent City, take a little bit to read that. That takes a little bit of time. They're long books, but I cannot wait, honestly, for more ACOTAR books because they're so easy to read and I love them. Anyways, guys, that is all I have for today's episode of Bookish. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow my socials, linked the at right below this, and this is also available on Spotify for your viewing and listening pleasure. All right, guys, I will see you guys next week. Bye.